Good morning. We're gonna go live on Facebook. We are live on Facebook. It is exactly 10 a.m. in the morning here in Hawk Island, Montreal. Your stories laundry day, pre-Sabbath laundry cleaning day. Writing some poetry. Just wrote a poem in the shower. Wrote it in the head, in the mind. The poem goes like this: Holy, sacred, divine water. Water falls, drips the black, fertile earth. Water grows, we eat water. How come, the children asks, that we eat the water? Well, we eat the water in the apples. We eat the water in the bananas. We are made of water. We are made of water, the children asks. I say, yes, 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 much water, the water, the holy, sacred, and divine water. Water is the water. Water is what in the water? There's water outside in the holler. The water hollers, the water drips. The water's on my lips. The water spits and kisses on the lips. On the water just like this. And I use the water to make coffee with this. With a black, black, black coffee bean and the golden rays of the sun. Water turns into coffee. That's the one. Something like that. Yours truly, the world's greatest living millennial dancing rainbow poet. Special edition this morning, Friday pre-Sabbath. Independent athlete, independent artist, independent activist, AAA. Grateful, thankful that my rent is paid for October. Grateful, thankful that my electricity bill is also paid for October. We're gonna go rock and roll this session. I'm doing laundry, doing laundry also. So if you do have to run to put the laundry in the dryer, you're gonna have to be excused. I'm grateful, thankful to my anonymous sister, whom if I make a me, I'm gonna give her half. I have to pay my $10,000 debt. But if we have debt refusion theory, which is my theory and my advocacy that we implement across North American collective civilization, the DRT, debt refusion theory, that is yours truly is called to all to support the DRT, debt refusion theory, complementary with the CIT, citizen integration theory, and democratic fusion theory as an independent philosopher, independent theorist, geopolitical analyst, and theorist, and student scholar of history, wars, geopolitics, and civilization as the people's doctor who's been through a lot, suffered pain, been depressed, been suicidal, have conquered depression, have conquered depression. Morning, good morning, good morning. My prescription for today is with consent to all my willingly loving allies and armies, pledge your allegiance. Allegiance is hug. Ah, ah. HUG, 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 hug with consent and hygiene like you never hugged before. Today with consent and hygiene, hug like you never hugged before. With consent and hygiene, hug like you never hugged before. Welcome to this live stream on Facebook. Independent artist, independent activist, independent artist, AAA, in whatever order. Sometimes first athlete when do my workouts who can work out like dragon, workout more than an hour. We do double trouble overtime workout. Challenge UDP Drug Sports Leagues, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, multi-million athletes to try to do my workout. I call it a heart on this special 20th, 21st of October. Please, 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 due to the economic, financial, commercial struggles that many families are undergoing at the moment in time, I'm asking all corporations, multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires to help reduce the price of the Halloween candies, sweets, goods, and all products related to Halloween ASAP. It's 10 a.m. You still have until 3 p.m. to do it today, Friday, if not Monday, 3 p.m. Monday morning. I want to hear this done over the weekend, please, please, please. Armies and allies, Right Dragon, Zero Adrian Hanna, Dragon, androgynous, pansexual, founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. Write the message, please, please, please reduce the products related to the holiday of Halloween. Please reduce it in half ASAP. Please reduce it in half ASAP. Due to the economic, financial, commercial burdens myself, fortunately, I cannot spend on Halloween. Of course, here where I do live in my underground room office in Temple, tried it with my anonymous sister a few years ago, and there's not a lot of circulation, but we love to get dressed up. I already have my dress up. I'm gonna be the Rainbow Witch again. And I love seeing children. I love children. I'm an aspiring children's books writer. Already wrote 3 books. Blah 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 blah. Looking for a literary agent. Literally looking for a literally agent. Literally looking for a literally agent. Literally looking for a literally LITERACY. Literally agent. As yours truly's aspiring children's writer, and love this holiday as well, Halloween. I think it's good. You can also give a little toothbrush and toothpaste, and of course for the teeth to be educational as well. After post Halloween, encourage the children to brush their teeth. But I am calling call of the heart to reduce ASAP the prices in half. Hopefully by today it will be done. Most corporations will heed mega retailers, all the retailers or the big stores, big grocery stores, east, west, north, south, from North America, North America, North America. And if I get a PayPal auction for business, because I'm auctioning this red hoodie, red pants, and coffee mug, and black socks, and everything that I'm auctioning, if I do make that 93, I'm gonna of course get a use some of that money ASAP to buy and give some candy to the children myself. But being $10,000 in debt, and I have to only spend on necessities, only on necessities, bread and butter issues, bread and butter issues, bread and butter issues. But I am open for business 24/7. Well, yeah, a day of the Sabbath, which the Sabbath begins tonight at midnight. The Sabbath of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom commences, starts tonight, Friday at midnight, and ends about Sunday 3 p.m. That is the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, which is my dream of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. As I'm here 10:06 a.m. in the morning, please, 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 if you make a million on the stock market today, you got a few hours to go rock and roll down Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street. Buy, sell, trade stocks, futures, options, puts, penny stocks, penny stocks, $1 stocks, $156 stocks, $93 stocks. Buy pork bellies, pork chops, selling commodities like coffee, grains, pork bellies, oil, silver, gold, sterling, copper, zinc, commodities, futures, options, puts, Wall Street on that, Wall Street there, the way in Manhattan, buy, sell, trade, big corporations, multinational, independent stockbrokers, multi-millionaires, billionaires. Please give 10% of every million you make profit on the stock market today. If you make a million profit on the stock market today, please give 10% of that 1 million to food security first, because everybody gotta eat. Even Wall Street, give it to food security first, because everybody gotta eat. Even Wall Street. 10% of a million, please. If you do make a million on the stock market today, give 10% for food security, 10% for women's sports leagues, 10% for LGBTQ issues, and also for Mother Nature. So 10%. I'm asking of every million that you made, buy, sell, trade stocks, futures, options, puts, commodities, oils, stock, pork bellies, contracts, futures, penny stocks, big stocks, $100 stocks. Please give 10% of that million that you make. Give 10% for food security first, because everybody gotta eat. Even Wall Street, everybody gotta eat. Even Wall Street, everybody gotta eat. Even Wall Street, give 10% for women's sports leagues, and gives 10% for LGBTQ youth services, and 25% for Mother Nature environmental issues. So that 10% of a million profit that you make divided, that means 100,000 is 10% of 1 million. That divided by four to four different causes, 100,000, which is 10% of a million, divided by four is 25,000. So you can give 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for women's sports leagues, 25,000 for LGBTQ youth services, and 25,000 for Mother Nature issues, and give 1% to the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, to my dream is the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, a public-private partnership, and fundamentally, in essence, my dream is, of course, for a public-private partnership across all organizations and institutions, and to create the two complementary, covenant, and cooperative institutions of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army. Willing, loving supporters, volunteers, join love, XYZ, everything transcript, XYZ posted on the net, transcript, your story, Adrian Hanna, dragons, dictums, and orations, and dissect it and put some art and have some fun as well. We also get some serious, because it's serious. Times are serious, economic, financial, commercial, well, myself included. I've been to depression, been suicidal, I've been down and out. I know all about recovery. I know all about recovery. I'm not totally selfless. I admit I want to get myself some good bacon. As a matter of fact, I got 770, got 770, and I'm gonna split it, make it, some good bacon to have over the weekend, maybe for Sunday bacon on the last day of the Sabbath, which begins the Sabbath tonight at midnight, because it's $3.99. I haven't seen it at that price for a while now. It's been a few weeks, so maybe from that 770, I'm gonna use half of that money to give myself a 375 grams of bacon, for which I am grateful, thankful. I'm gonna say thank you, love you, kiss you. Farmers. First, is everybody gotta eat. even Wall Street knows we had these farm privileges, myself included. Although I say I never farmed, I did farm in past lives, many incarnations, and I did some urban farming, did quite a few times urban farming, sort of small plots, small lots of farming, harvesting, and all the grains and all the work involved in the farming process and harvesting process. So did it all, but at a small scale. That's what basically urban farming is, at a small scale farming. It's called urban farming because surrounded by big residential buildings and what have you, right? But I have experience, I did even in this life. So, but as a macro level, being that we are how many Canadians now? We're close to 40 million, right? 40 million in the United States. They're past 358 million. My brothers and sisters in Mexico, they're past 100 million. So just North America, Canada, US, Mexico, the collective North American civilization, and we have a lot of integration of the production and the distribution of food across North America, and we constitute a collective civilization, which is one of my, of course, theories that I firmly believe as a philosopher, as a geopolitical analyst, that North America, we constitute a collective civilization. Myself have learned, of course, Spanish, and I do speak Spanish very fluently, and I love the language Spanish. I love French. I love French. I machine stop B. I'm gonna go attend to the machine, switch it, put it. So you're gonna have to wait a few minutes. A minute. I'm gonna go put the dryer. I'm gonna put the second load. So I'm doing double trouble, laundry day, cleaning day, art day today. Pre-Sabbath, gotta work. It's part of work, doing all the things we do. I'm grateful, thankful for the laundry machine. To my anonymous sister, whom if I make a meal, I'm gonna give her half of the dancing goddess and the dragon king. Give her half of the dancing goddess and the dragon king. Give her half of the dancing goddess and the dragon king. We'll be back. Rock and roll. Give yourself a big hug with consent while I'm gone. Give yourself a big hug with consent while I'm gone. While I'm gone, give yourself a big hug. Self hug with somebody with consent while I'm gone. Be back. Nice blue chair. Love it. Like the most, it's really pretty, most uncomfortable. Shit. Super uncomfortable. For real? Can't sit there for long. How's that hugging going? How's that hugging going? How's that hugging going? I put it in my laundry in the dryer. I'm gonna go back and put the second load. Same procedure, please, with consent hug while I'm gone. Please, with consent hug while I'm gone. I don't really like having both at the same time, so I'm just gonna try and do that a little after. I did it once, but I don't know. How's that hugging going? When I'm gone, with consent hug. While I am gone with consent hug. While I am gone with consent hug. I'm gonna wash my gloves. Yeah. When I put this, I put it on bulky items. Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
I mean, sometimes you can stretch it.
Appreciate it. There we are, back in business, back in business. Put laundry. Gonna do the second load after the, so I might have to go again. I'm gonna go again after the, about half an hour or so once the drying process finishes, and then I'm gonna put a second load. I already loaded in, and I'm just gonna have to rock and roll it because I don't like to use both machines due to the electricity consumption because I got my coffee brewing. So, and speaking of electricity consumption, of course the laptop is not plugged in, and the smartphone has been plugged in this morning, and both were plugged in this morning around 7 a.m. to be charged. So they're already charged, so they're not plugged in, but my electricity, my coffee brewer is utilizing energy at the moment, is on, so keeping the coffee warm because I'm gonna get a second cup. Speaking of electricity, I am credited and I am saying big dragon hugs and love you, kiss you, past, present and future workers of Hydro-Québec here in la belle province. Les gros câlins du dragon, les travailleurs de l'Hydro-Québec. Du passé puis du futur. From more than 6 decades, more than 60 years since 1963. Of course, they build with brains and muscle, with brains and muscle, because building and maintaining and even upgrading civilization will require brains and muscle. I got a little bit of each sometimes. I admit I'm mediocre at some other things, but nonetheless, an average at some things and so at other things, but nonetheless, I'm great at X, Y, Z other factors. So Hydro-Québec, thank you. Big dragon hugs are credited to all past, present, and future workers of Hydro-Québec at all levels. Past, present, and big dragon hugs and kisses. Got some tickles and some. Friends, you can say no to my offers, but to my allies and armies, fundamentally, I got kisses by the trees, because God credited from the goddess which dances with her brother sun to make, create, and produce all fruits, all vegetables, all legumes, and all the grains, all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the grains are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. That is the motto, of course, the philosophy of the dancing goddess army. Throw that DGA in the air, bust a dance move. I'm the dancing is my favorite sport, and dancing is a sport. But so that's what I got to offer. Kisses first. Kisses got by the trillion, 718 trillions of kisses. Some hugs with that, some brain, some muscle, and lots of philosophies. Millions of poems, songs, chants as an artist, athlete, and activist. Billions of push-ups with that, billions of squats, billions of hawks, and trillions of marching steps. As yours truly, Adrian H. Dragonborn, being reborn, Adrian Hana, dragon, androgynous man, sacred founder of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom right here in this underground room, office, and temple, calling all willing living to support my dream, which is the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, and support the implementation of my Trinity of theories to form a public-private partnership of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom to create, institutionalize, and establish two complementary and covenant cooperative institutions. The International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, with the International Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army. Yes, the Dancing Goddess Army. Dancing Goddess Army. The Dancing Goddess Army, which will be for pleasure and purpose. Pleasure to establish dances and recreational activities, anywhere ranging from massages to spas to naps to XYZ art activity for pleasure, for recreation, for the body. For the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. That is my philosophy. Part of my philosophy, one of my philosophies is embodied in these words. The body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. And how do we invest in the body? By myself and I believe others, by working out, training, and exercising, regular physical activity, and of course by recreational activities such as taking long baths or even massages. Cannot afford a massage therapy at the moment, and though substituted, I am grateful, thankful that I am able to take hot baths every week, sometimes twice a week, of course, and sometimes, of course, we substitute elements and substitute and get creative and do XYZ factors to replace or or be co-equivalent, be in parallel to some other activities XYZ, which we sometimes do, or for lack of economic, financial, commercial means, we substitute. As I substitute because I cannot afford a massage therapy session. I cannot afford a massage therapy session at the moment. I cannot afford a massage therapy session at the moment. Hey, Colin Steve, Tom Brady coming to this underground room office and then we're gonna do a fundraising for the Dragon Army. Instagram, Facebook, blah 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 blah. Anybody, all type XYZ. Dragon Zero's message to all. Dragon Zero's message to all. Dragon Zero's message to all. Legion Hana Dragon in this underground room of something. But first and foremost, the main message after all, you hear all the philosophies, the theories, everything that I'm gonna read from online because it's gonna be a special morning news edition. In the news, and I want to see in the news, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, the Dream, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire, Empire of the Dragon and the Dancing Goddess Kingdom are one. The Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom are one, and that is my dream, which I'm calling at the moment. It has serious components, but we can use art and humor and comedy, which I use sometimes. Bless, which I use and utilize because it's part of being part of our civilization and nature to use some humor and comedy. Myself, I admit openly that I'm not perfect. At some things I am mediocre. At other things I am average. At some things I am so-so. While being so-so, average, and mediocre at some things, I am great, excellent, and super at some other things. Working out, training, and exercising, my workouts are excellent. I'm super at geopolitical analysis and theory and theorizing on the complex geopolitical dimensions, taking regions into considerations and the nexus of their interpolations and relations from the past, and analyzing circumstances in order to predict future outcomes or future events on a speculative manner, which is with wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. I'm great at geopolitical analysis and theory, such as my theory in geopolitics in 2019 that has proven to be on par to what's going on in the world back in 2019, have of course created, made, and designed the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, which in a new providential paradoxical way yours truly has of course come to fruition. In many ways, in a paradoxical parallel way, not in the exact same way, but in a very similar manner and congruent to the events which had transpired ever since. It has of course transpired in many ways my geopolitical analysis, which have of course done and completed and concluded back in October 2019 that humanity, as I've sounded the alarm back then, that we are again on a path towards another international conflagration. And back then I've said humanity, mankind, we are again on an international conflagration as so created, made, and designed the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army, work out to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, which in a nearly paradoxical, providential way resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crises. And back then, had taken geopolitical events into consideration, major geopolitical events into consideration, such as the US-China trade war, and of course the US-China trade war. Not only the U.S.-China trade war, but the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, aka Kathy Meng, which was arrested. Kathy Meng, aka Meng Wanzhou, is the chief financial officer of Huawei and the daughter of the founder of Huawei, and which she was arrested in order to honor it by the RCMP to honor an extradition treaty with the United States of America, and she was extracted to honor that treaty. And of course there was the subsequent arrest of the two Michaels and detaining in China, Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig. So I've confluenced those elements together, events, geopolitical events, because these events, the US-China trade war was a major event in my geopolitical analysis back in October 2019. And I've sounded the alarm, said humanity, with these geopolitical events, which are transpiring even in speaking and have transpired, humanity, we are again on a path towards another international conflagration. And so paradoxically, as a world peace advocate, Dragon Zero, aka Limdick, is of course a great geopolitical analyst and theorist who is in certain circumstances not is mediocre at certain things, average at other things, so at other things, and openly admitted that I am so, while I'm being complimented by being great, super, and excellent at these other things. And we need to work in a complementary manner, So back in October, this was serious. This is serious business. My geopolitical analysis, October 2019, we go back in time a little bit, had come to the conclusion that I'm speaking, me, you, and all humankind, my brothers and sisters of humanity, that we are again on a path towards another international conflagration after taking into consideration main geopolitical events. The US-China trade war was a major geopolitical event which began the Sino-American, and I'm speaking to my brothers and sisters in the USA, that way 156 years ago in the past life, 718 miles from Hawk Island, south of Hawk Island, that way, served in the U.S. Army. So I'm also speaking as somebody who was born in the USA twice in past lives to my American brothers and sisters. At this point in time, I think the best therapy for my brothers and sisters in the USA would be to yours truly, Dragon Zero, to go to Congress for a weekend. I spank both the Republicans and the Democrats. That was the best therapy, I believe. That will give a catharsis, a psychological catharsis. We can live stream it on Facebook, Instagram. Consent, and yours truly, Dragon Zero, spanks Congress. It will be a very catharsis. Oh yes, my American brothers and sisters in the USA will say yes. This is what America needs, and not only the spanking, but the kissing thereafter and the hugging. So triple spanking, hugging, and kissing. I believe so, firmly. One of the therapy, and then we add the fourth dimension to that spanking, kissing, and hugging. To that spanking, kissing, and hugging. To that spanking, kissing, and hugging. Yeah, for the fourth dimension, philosophy. The philosophy to ensure freedom, secure justice, and ensure prosperity for all of the collective North American civilization. Because my brothers and sisters, Canadians and Americans, we got two borders. We got one correction. We got two oceans and one border. We got common destiny. We got a common destiny. Two oceans. That way east is the Atlantic. That way west is the Pacific. West, British Columbia, Vancouver is of course Seattle, Washington State. That is the Pacific, and that is San Francisco, California. And not only California and San Francisco, the Bay Area. That is The West Coast and the Pacific is that way. The East Coast is that way. Is the Atlantic, the Maritimes, of course, the provinces of the Newfoundland, New Prince Edward Island, and of course Nova Scotia, New Brunswick are that way. That's because we're further east is the Atlantic. So two oceans surround our collective North American civilization, and we have one border. So of course my policies across from the collective North American civilization, I firmly believe they are best at this point in time. Yes, I'm not without faults. I can be intense sometimes. I get moody, I get upset, I get triggered, I get lustful. I've been For me it's no longer an issue being I'm not in the closet. It's been years that I'm no longer in the closet, but being LGBTQ, a rainbow dragon. I'm a rainbow dragon. I'm a rainbow dragon. I've got a big red booty. Anyways, back in October 2019, have created, made, and designed the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, which in a nearly paradoxical providential way resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crisis. So back then, I've sounded the alarm. I said, humanity. I'm gonna need a refill of coffee. So back in 2019, in October 2019, yours truly, a geopolitical analyst and theorist, created, made, and designed the World War III scenario to go hand in hand with my geopolitical analysis and theory. And of course, back then, have sounded the alarm that humanity had embarked on a path towards another international conflagration. So created, made, and designed my workout, which is simple, effective, and efficient, requires no equipment, and is easy to do any place, anywhere, anytime. And of course, I've created back then my workout program, which is called the Dragon Army workout, which is super and excellent, which increases general overall fitness, but it was made to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario. As a matter of fact, of course, I am auctioning these papers. This is the documentation paperwork. These are handwritten papers where each and every time that I've done the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, every time I've marked it. And of course the first one here is October 17, 2019. October 17, 2019. October 17, 2019 is the first time that I've done the first session of the General War Integrated Total Body Training System. I'm auctioning these papers. They're 20. You see, written by hand. Every time that I've performed one of these workouts, and of course I've documentations, I've live streamed them on Facebook and on YouTube. There's 20 pages handwritten with each and every one of the sessions, the 300 sessions, which I've successfully completed, of course, September 29th of this year. About more than 2 weeks ago now, more than 3 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago, 22 days ago, 22 days ago, successfully completed, because I've set up to do 300 sessions of my own created workout training program, done right here, most of them right in this underground room, office, and temple, which also has served as a gymnasium. And of course, this is the proof of work and proof online on XYZ, as I'm died during COVID. Adrian H died during COVID, being reborn. Adrian Hannah, dragon, androgynous, pansexual, founder of the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, which is my a dream for a public-private partnership in order to create two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, to be for pleasure and purpose with the Dancing Goddess Army, and vice versa for security and service, for security and service, for security and service, based on my philosophies, my theories, my universal spiritual teaching student. As of course I am also a universal spiritual teaching student, but I'm not perfect. I don't play it like I'm floating on a cloud of self-righteousness and self-righteous cloud floating in my spirituality. I do nature meditations on natures. I was in a past life, many past lives, many incarnations, from the ancient Egypt by the Nile to the ancient Rome by the Danube, ancient India by the Ganges, to of course the Euphrates by ancient Samaria, and of course right here, right now on this 21 of October. Please, 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 if you do make a million, buy, sell, trade stocks, future options, puts on the stock market, Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street. Give 10% of that 1 million, which is equivalent to 100,000. Divide that 100,000, which is 10% of a million, by 4, which is the equivalent of 25,000. Give 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for women's sports leagues, 25,000 for LGBTQ youth services, and 25,000 for environmental issues. I'm auctioning this. Maybe you can give 1%, add to 10, add 1% by principle, make it 11%, give 1% to the dream of Adrian Hanna, Dragon's Dream, the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. And these are the papers, all the papers here, which are written by hand. You can see written from the first one, October 17, 2019, which is the first one that I've done. And since I've done, of course, more than 300, I'm gonna do it around 313th today. Maybe do it 313th today, put it 313 today. But when I reach 300, I've officially turned that A of my surname into an O. When I've reached 300, I officially turned that A of my surname into an O. When I reach 300, I officially turned that A of my surname into an I. I officially turned that A of my surname into an O. I've officially turned that A of my surname into an O. I've officially turned that A of my surname into an O. Right here in the underground room of some temple, 300 sessions completed successfully. These is auctioning these handwritten, written by hand, all written by hand, all sessions, general board integrated total body training system sessions, which were written by hand by yours truly, Dragon Zero, who's officially turned and changed his surname. Dragon became Dragon, Dragon became Dragon, Dragon became Dragon, and of course, the motto of the Dragon Army is nobody is born a dragon, you become one. Nobody is born a dragon, you become one. Nobody is born a dragon, you become one. That is the motto of the Dragon Army, and yours truly, Dragon Zero. Who's not perfect, far from it. Right here in this underground room house and temple, we're gonna rock and roll, gonna get a second cup of coffee, and we're gonna do some reading. I'm gonna put this in the dictionary of politics, dictionary of politics, dictionary of politics. Encourage you all to work out, train, exercise, to work out, train, exercise, work out, train, exercise. Working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. And I encourage you all to work out, to train, exercise. And it is October 21st, 10:36 a.m. in the morning here in Hawk Island, Montreal. 10:36 in the morning, aka Hawk Island, Montreal. It's 10:36 here in the morning in Hawk Island, Montreal. My geopolitical analysis back in 2019. So back in 2019, I've taken into consideration as an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist everything that had transpired up to that moment in time, and had, of course, came with the conclusion. I've concluded that we, humanity, are on a path towards another international conflagration, due to mainly the events which made me conclude from wisdom, understanding, and knowledge that we are again on a path towards an international conflagration war, the U.S.-China trade war, which began with the Trump administration back in 2018, began with the Trump administration about 2018, March, I believe, the first session of tariffs, and then incrementally for the next year and 2 years in the Trump administration, but in 2018 it began. So the Trump administration began imposing tariffs, billions of dollars on tariffs of 10, 15, even 20 and more percent on imports, more than billions and billions. It came to hundreds of billions. A billion is 1,000 million of imported goods from China. So it came into different stages. The first stage of imposition of tariffs, the second stage, and the third stage. I've did in the past readings during COVID. Of course, I've read with my coffee with Dragon session events. I've read, of course, about the U.S.-China trade war, which is ongoing and unresolved, and which has deteriorated since. So that triggered the deterioration of Sino-American, Sino-Canadian, Sino-North American, and Sino-Western relations. When I use Sino, S-I-N-O, I'm referring to China's constituting a civilizational complex, and not necessarily the state as known just by the sole factor of the Chinese Communist Party. Although the Chinese Communist Party is the sole party, one-party state, and ruling state with the ideology of socialism with Chinese characteristics. I'm not going to go into divergent and analyze that. If you want something specific with an in-depth analysis, with wisdom, analyzing in a rainbow way with black and white and lots of gray, sometimes there's gray areas, sometimes there's gray areas in the factors, and we have to look at the complex, multi-dimensional factors of such a big populated civilization, which is 1 out of 6 people live in China, in the People's Republic of China, But nonetheless, if you want to commission blah 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 blah, commission just a analysis and a dissertation of that, please feel free. I'm open for business. If you want 1 hour just analyzing and dissecting the complexity of the Sino civilizational complex. When I say Sino, I'm referring to China as a civilizational complex. A civilizational complex, right? Meaning that it dates for thousands of years and it has its characteristics and XYZ factors. But so nonetheless, back in 2019, as a geopolitical analyst and theorist, had concluded that we humanity are on a path towards another international conflagration, and so created, made, and designed the General War Integrated Body Training System to go with it. Not only that, those events were taken into consideration on their geopolitical nature, also the ongoing Islamic State terrorism, which was ongoing in the Middle East and worldwide. Events, historical events such as Pearl Harbor were also taken into consideration, and other factors, geopolitical events. So had concluded in October 2019, humanity, my conclusion as a independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, had concluded that we humanity are again on a path towards another international conflagration. And so made, created, and designed the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario. You heard that right. Back in 2019, October, have created, made, and designed my workout training program to go hand in hand with such an event, such an eventuality, such a scenario. The scenario was a World War III scenario, and it's ongoing in the timeline because it's going to finish in mid-November or so, when in the timeline of my scenario and me performing the 300. Also, I've done 300 before the deadline. I've done 300 sessions of my workout when I've officially turned the A of my surname into an O, because I set up to do 300 sessions of this simple, effective workout training program, which was made, created, and designed to go hand in hand with such a scenario. Now, 93 days later, after October 17, when I've performed my first workout training program session, in which my workout system was designed, made, and created to go hand in hand with such a scenario, a World War III scenario, right? These World War III scenarios have been going since after the Second World War. From the 50s and 60s, World War III scenarios have existed. Now, mine was original, which is with the dimension of the modern Sino Canadian, Sino-American, Sino-Western deterioration of relations and what have you. Now, and then 93 days later, after October 17, which was the first workout training program that I've created, that I've done, performed, proof of work as I've documented it online, I've created, made, and designed that workout to go hand in hand with such a scenario, which was a World War III scenario. It's ongoing. It's going to finish soon in the coming weeks, but it's ongoing. So that was the scenario. And the scenario, since my scenario look very similar to the COVID-19 health and financial crises, and furthermore with the current situation in the Russia-Ukraine now on COVID. I am triple vaccinated and call, urge all, please wash your hands with soap and water, 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 disinfect with hand sanitizer, disinfect with hand sanitizer, disinfect with hand sanitizer when you step outside in the public. Because when we are in the private, right here I'm in my private room, office and temple, right, I can turn everything off, close the blinds, and of course close the blinds, get naked, start dancing naked on Madonna music, Tekashi 69, Yay music, or whatever music. My price for an hour naked Adrian on a dragon dance is $1 million. Gonna pay my $10,000 debt. I'm gonna give half to my sister. Not that you wanna sponsor, commission, anything like that, blah blah, tralala. So when we step outside, we already have, of course, duty, obligation, and responsibility. We have a duty, obligation, and responsibility. We have a duty, obligation, and responsibility. And that right now is public hygiene. Our duty, obligation, and responsibility at the moment in time is public hygiene. Our duty, obligation, and responsibility at the moment in time is public hygiene. Wash your hands, please, with soap and water when you go in a bank, when you go in a mall, when you go in a school, when you go in a grocery store. Soap and water, wash your hands with soap and water, or hand sanitizer, please, please, please. Because we have that added dimension when we step outside. I can turn everything off, do XYZ in my private room, office, and temple, dance naked. Tekashi 69, Madonna music, or Yay music, whatever. 1 hour, $1 million. That's my price for a naked dance. I don't have a OnlyFans. I don't got an OnlyFans. I don't know fans, but I believe you're gonna ain't see nothing like that dance. That's best believe, best believe, best believe. So yours truly, I can do that. I can turn everything off in my private and close the blinds and dance, get naked and dance naked on Yay music, Madonna music, Tekashi 69 music, or whatever music, soundtracks, techno music. And my price is 1 hour, $1 million, $1 million for an hour naked on Dragon Dance. That's my price deal. I'm gonna give half of it to my sister. I'm gonna pay my $10,000 debt if we don't have the debt rule fusion theory implemented, because that's what I'm advocating, calling for the debt rule fusion theory, which of course we're gonna get into in a minute. But right now, please increase in hygiene in public. That is the message. Please increase in hygiene in public. That is the message, and the main message is with consent. Hug like you never hugged today with consent. Hug like you never hugged today with consent. Hug like you never hugged today. That is the main message. We're gonna go get some more coffee because even witches need coffee. Even witches need coffee. Even witches need coffee. That's what's written on this. I'm auctioning this. Now we're gonna get a cup of coffee. Package, package, package. Huh?
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, merci.
And
This is reading.
oh, I'm grateful, thankful for
No,
this.
merci. No, merci.
I'm grateful, thankful for this cup of coffee. I'm grateful, thankful for this cup of coffee. I'm grateful, thankful for this cup of coffee, which was harvested and first and foremost created, made, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother sun, as all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess, forgotten goddess who dances with her brother sun, Mother Nature, planet Earth. In my universal spiritual teachings, I'm a universal spiritual teaching student as well, but I don't know it all. I got questions. I can be non-dogmatic, non-sectarian. I can be non-dogmatic, non-sectarian. I can be non-dogmatic, non-sectarian. I don't have all the answers. My temple, the
So when they
temple,
keep coming. Once you open the door to them, they keep coming, and then if you say no, thank you.
the
Say
temple.
no, thank you last time, then they start coming.
Okay, interesting.
They didn't start.
The temple of the
They keep
goddess.
coming every month. Don't indulge it, okay?
Yeah, no problem. The temple of the goddess. Beautiful blue sky. My Pope is the sun. My Pope is the sun. My Pope is the sun. I can be secular. I also believe in science. When I say the motto of the dancing goddess armies, all fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother sun. I also can say that it's the science of it, right? The black fertile earth containing the nutrients, the elements, and the vitamins and the minerals with the heat and the vitamins of the sun rays, of the sun rays, of the sun rays. And not only the sun rays, but the water from the rain, let it rain, creates all fruits, all vegetables, all legumes, all grain, all the grain. The wheat and the barley, everything that we eat. Everybody gotta eat, even Wall Street. Please, Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street, buy, sell, trade stocks. If you do make a million profit on the stock market today, Black Hawk, Black Hawk, Black Hawk, Black Rock, Mr. Fing, Mr. Fing, Mr. Fing, and others, Vanguard, and all the big IMF, World, whatever they are, XYZ, multi-millionaires, financiers, please give 10% of that 1 million to food security because everybody got to eat, even Wall Street, women's sports leagues, LGBTQ services, and environmental issues. So divide that 10% of a million, which is the equivalent of 100,000 divided by 4. That gives us 25,000. So if you make a million, give 10% of that million. My call, please, please, please give 10% of a million to aforementioned food security, women's sports leagues, LGBTQ youth services, and environmental causes. Let's plant a tree for every tree. Matter of principle. If we cut a tree down, can we plant another tree? Multi-millionaires, millionaires, and please, at this moment in time, as it's Halloween, right here in this underground room of Sun Temple. Please give 10% of every million you make profit. And please call it a heart on this Halloween. Yours truly. Reduce the Halloween goods, candy, sweets, and all products related to the holiday in half. ASAP, per my 10:49 a.m. in the morning by 3 p.m. Corporations, big retailers, huge mega retailers. 10:50 a.m. in the morning. Buy, sell, trade stocks, future options. Please, please, please reduce in half. ASAP, the Halloween goods, candies, the goods and the candies. Multinational corporations, big retails, big grocery stores, mega grocery stores. Let's reduce it in half. If not today, by Monday, so that economically, financially, commercially struggling families can have a relief. I would do it if I would be. So I'm not totally selfless. Don't get me wrong. I'm not totally for the other. I try to be balanced. I admit my own mediocrities, my own averages, my own moodiness, and X, Y, Z. I admit a lot of things people don't admit. It's hard to deal with, right? That we feel inferior at some things. Compare where we compare ourselves with some other people. We feel inferior, and X, Y, Z. We don't have all the solutions, right? It's myself included. I have some solutions. I do firmly believe in my Trinity of theories without any doubt, just like my Trinity on COVID. First and foremost, I do not know what caused COVID. Second, I believe it was transmitted from snakes to human beings. And third, I cannot rule out another possibility. My belief, zoonotic transmissions, as it's called in the scientific field, transmission of a virus from an animal to a human being. Some say rats, some say bats. I say snakes. Could be another animal, XYZ, I don't know. I don't know for sure. I believe snakes, but I don't know for sure. I cannot rule out another possibility. Thus, fourth dimension to that trinity. That's my trinity on COVID. Has been, is, and will be. First and foremost, I do not know what caused COVID. Second, I believe it was transmitted from snakes to human beings. Third, I don't know for sure. And fourth dimension to that trinity, I cannot rule out another possibility. X, Y, Z, whatever the case is. But what I do know, fourth dimension, without a doubt, fourth dimension to that trinity on COVID, of which first is I don't know for sure. Well, second, I believe in snakes, or vice versa. It could be first, I believe in snakes. Second, I don't know for sure. And third, I cannot rule out another possibility. XYZ, man-made virus, accident in lab, XYZ. But I believe it was transmitted from snakes. That's my trinity. But I don't know for sure. And third, I cannot rule out another possibility. Fourth dimension to that trinity is what I do know without doubt, an inch of a doubt, 100% without a doubt, is that before COVID, 93 days before COVID or so, October 17th, after having analyzed the geopolitical events which had transpired up to that moment in time, being a great super excellent geopolitical analyst and theorist, while being mediocre and average and perhaps even effing useless at some other things, I do admit, have come to the conclusion and I've said humanity were again on a path towards another international conflagration. And so made, created, and designed the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, made and created and designed to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario back in 2019. And that was since I had some solutions in my scenario to go with such an event. That's what during COVID had began advocating for the implementation of my theories, of my philosophies, of XYZ factors. Right? So back in 2019, in October 2019, that's what had began. And I've completed successfully 300 of my one workout training programs. I've turned that A into a no. I've a success, a victory, a triumph over to having set out to do this workout training program, to do 300 of them, of which I've successfully completed. It increases overall general fitness. My workout increases general fitness. My workout increases general overall fitness. Designed, made, and created to go hand in hand, paradoxically in a providential power way, to go with such a scenario, such an event. Me, myself, as an independent fitness captain, an independent athlete, the people's athlete, and a geopolitical analyst and theorist, and of course a world peace advocate. A world peace advocate and world peace. I am still, but I'm also a realist. I admit I have aggression. I admit I have aggression within myself. I admit I have aggression within myself. But my philosophy has been, is, and will be, my brothers and sisters, to channel and sublimate. Channel and sublimate. Channel and sublimate are two key words of my philosophy into constructive activities. Working out, training, exercising is my channeling and sublimation, and it's my medicine and therapy of choice. I feel so much better when I stretch, when I work out. Oh, feels so good. This body is a temple for pleasure and purpose is my philosophy. Sure, I've been pissed off for the past during COVID, XYZ. I've lost economic, commercial, financial opportunity and continuance and blessing due to being myself part of the LGBTQ community. We're still a minority, right? Still XYZ factors. And calling to see my rainbow bro in the sports league is not the only one. There's one on each team, right? I said it. I will say it again. I've said it. Well, I am saying and I will say it. Calling to see my Rainbow Bro is not the only one in the sports league, which is LGBTQ. Maybe by 3 p.m. today, by midnight during the Sabbath of the Dancing Guys and Dragon Gum, they will come out and say, "Okay, we are LGBTQ. There is one on each team." I understand that money, 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 money. No, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. What is money? Unit of exchange. That's why I believe in my debt refusion theory, taking all private and public debt, refusing it, and creating the UE. I firmly believe in that theory where we are with inflation, shrinkflation, with everything that's going economically, financially, commercially. I do believe in my theory to be implemented, as I'm calling for the 7-year project with the Genesis 33 protocol starting November 7 with the Genesis 33 protocol starting November 7 with the Genesis 33 protocol to be implemented east, west, north, south, first and foremost across the collective North American civilization, because we've got one border, two oceans. Calling for the Dragon Army, if somebody was an American twice in past lives, to be integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations to secure the three essential elements of civilization: food, housing, and transport. Food, housing, and transport. Food, housing, and transport. Thank you, love you, kiss you, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, farmers. Butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, all involved in the production and distribution of food. Even this cup of coffee, which I'm drinking, all involved in the production and distribution of food. All involved in the production and distribution of food. Because I got myself farm, although I did farm on small lots, but my brothers. I gotta love the farmers, man. We gotta love them. We gotta love them. We gotta love them. Because everybody gotta eat. Multi-millionaire athletes. I'm watching them doing the people's athlete, working out, training, and exercising. How many people are making truckers now? Love you, kiss you, hug you, transporting goods east, west, north, south across this collective North American civilization. Love you farmers, love you truckers, love you butchers, love you bakers, love you nurses, love you grocery store clerks, love you warehouse workers, conductors, train conductors, choo-choo train, love you big dragon hugs, and I'm calling all to support the global dragon union. 21st century universal, as I am a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist, as I am a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist, as I am a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist who do believe in my theories to be implemented across the collective North American civilization and beyond, with NATO member troops, NATO member organizations, and please, Mr. Stolberg, my brother, Jens Stolberg, Secretary NATO General. Please, I want to hear you say, as a Secretary General of a military alliance, I want to hear you say, love, make love tonight, NATO troops, NATO armies, make love tonight, NATO troops, NATO armies, make LOV tonight, NATO troops and armies. Because otherwise, what are we fighting to save civilization for? I got nuclear warheads, ICBM rockets, man. If somebody's not making LOV tonight, today, giving big hug, making some good loving. What are we fighting to? Almost fighting to save for multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires, for Wall Street, for Wall Street, baby, for multi-millionaire artists. They already got they pay, man. They good, yeah, good. You think Dragon Zero is gonna take orders from a general who doesn't say, "My armies make love tonight"? I thought no general don't say that, man. Get out of here, bro. For no army who don't say love you. It's not about love, LOV. I don't want nothing to do with it. Dow. Stay 2 meters away. Wash your hands with soap and water. Hand sanitize. Chava, chava, chava. Blah 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 blah. So please, Mister, my brother, Secretary General of NATO, Jens Stolberg, I want to hear you say it. Why don't you say it? And Dragon Zero, I'm gonna say, go Jens Stolberg, go Jens Stolberg, go NATO, go NATO. Start dedicating workouts on Dragon Zero NATO Alliance, Dragon Zero NATO Alliance, Dragon Zero NATO Alliance. Yet to hear you, because to my allies and armies pledge your allegiance, allegiance to my allies and armies pledge your allegiance, allegiance to my allies and armies pledge your allegiance, allegiance. Main messages gonna be push-ups, hogs, squats, workout, train, exercise, secure food, housing and transport, wash your hands in public, hand sanitize, and with consent. and hygiene, mutual understanding, love, make love today, tonight. With consent, make LOV with consent, hug like you never hugged before. Consent, my allies, army, so make LOV tonight. What are we fighting a safe civilization for? So we're not making LOV today, tomorrow. So please, Mr. Secretary General NATO Jens Stolberg, please, please, please. Please, Mr. Brother, Secretary General of NATO Military Alliance, say, make love tonight, brothers, in the NATO armies of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization member. That's what I want to hear Mr. Jens Stolberg say. If a general leading troops in battle don't say, I love you, you ain't my fucking general. I take no orders from no you, man. If you march in steel toe boots, 7 hours with Dragon Zero, maybe 3.5, pause for 15 minutes. I'm calling nobody, no general. If you march in steel toe boots with Dragon Zero, you decide if you say, love you, Dragon. If you don't love me, yeah, I'm a rainbow dragon. Not about love. Love is also action. Love is action. Love is action, not just blah blah. I don't want nothing to do with it. So back in 2019, I'd created, made and designed the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Workout, aka the Dragon Army Workout, aka the 300 Workout design, made and created to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, based on my analysis and conclusion, which had come to the conclusion back then on taking geopolitical events into consideration, such as the U.S.-China trade war, such as the administration of Trump administration, who began imposing tariffs on China, and of course other geopolitical events such as the ongoing Islamic State terrorism, and of course the ongoing situations worldwide, and historical events such as Pearl Harbor. And back then had sounded the alarm, and that said humanity were again on a path towards an international conflagration, and so made, created, and designed the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army, to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. So back then, I've sounded the alarm, said, hey, back in October 2019, humanity were again on a path towards an international conflagration. So made that scenario and the workout to go hand in hand. Myself as an independent fitness captain, as a world peace advocate, and as a geopolitical analyst and theorist who admits I admit a lot of things. And the sword of freedom, I admit. Sword of freedom, sword. The double edge, very sharp on each side. I tiny hands, tiny feet, tiny little androgynous scar clit dick. I got a clit dick, got a clit dick. Too heavy to lift by my solo, SOLO. Who's gonna lift it, you? I can't lift it solo. Perhaps if my sister helps. On the second hand, my sister can lift it by herself. Second thought, my sister can lift it by herself. Second thought, my sister can lift it by herself. Anonymous sister might lift half of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, half of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, half of the Dragon Kingdom and the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which is my dream and my call to all to support the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, to support it in any way, shape, capacity, or form, by advocacy, by volunteering, and first and foremost by LOV, 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 because love is action, not just blah blah blah. Adrian H. Dragon here died during COVID, being reborn. Adrian Hanna Dragon, androgynous pansexual founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, which are one empire under the sun. Calling for support of the public-private partnership, the implementation of my Trinity of theories, the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, with the Democratic Fusion Theory and the Debt Fusion Theory. The Debt Fusion Theory is this: taking all private and public debt, refusing it, converted into US dollar, whatever the number is of all the Canadian debt, public and private debt, my private debt, if X represents the private debt, and if I'm X1 or X2 and there's hundreds of thousands, millions of X's across Canada and Mexico and beyond, the NATO member countries and Israel, and beyond my brothers and sisters in Africa, the Middle East, South America, Central America, taking all the private and the public debt, refusing it, whatever the number is, and it's going to be in US dollar converted to the forex, what's called forex conversion, converted into US dollar, and of course whatever the number is, transmuting it with that number initially finance, find the global central bank, a transnational central bank, a global universal central bank, to issue the universal exchange unit, the UE, called the UE, pegged to the US dollar, whatever the UE is, stands for Universal Exchange Unit, preferably by biometrics, the hand, the voice, and the eye being unique biometric identifiers. Calling my astrological brother Bill Gates, Scorpio, my astrological brother Scorpio Bill Gates, calling on support of my astro brother Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, and of course Elon Musk, all private, all governments and institutions, think tanks, and of course as a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist in a non-sectarian, non-dogmatic manner for securing in these troubled 21st century times for the collective North American civilization and beyond, for a public-private partnership and alliance to create, to do, and implement the trinity of theories known as citizen integration theory, detrol fusion theory, and democratic fusion theory, to create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, for security and service, to be both dual purpose security and service, with the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service to come the International Integrated Dance League, the integrated to be on all gender, all ages, all inclusive dance league, and of course to organize dancing events for pleasure and purpose, for pleasure and purpose, for pleasure and purpose, to be for pleasure and purpose, for pleasure and purpose. Doer for pleasure, because it's pleasurable to dance, organize pleasurable activities such as dancing, XYZ spa, and XYZ recreational activities. And purpose for environmental education and action. For environmental education and action, for environmental education and action. On the ground from citizen to citizen to learn how better to do recycling, how better to do compost, compost and recycling, recycling and compost. So you gotta know exactly what goes in the recycling, what goes in the compost, and XYZ, and clean the oceans, the forests, and do better at a macro level, at a micro level as an individual citizen, and all the organizations and institutions. So these two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the Dragon Army, which is officially titled International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, to be for security and service in the 21st century and integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations, east, west, north, south, integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations, to be integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations, integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations, for securing food, housing, and transport. Food, housing, and transport, the three essential elements of civilization: food, housing, and transport. Thank you, love you, kiss you, farmers, big dragon hearts, the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, truckers, grocery store clerks, and all involved in the production and distribution of food. Let's do a meditation. How many cup of coffees are served now across North America, from east, west, north, south? How many truckers are drinking coffee now? Of course, we've got to take into consideration time zones. It's 11:08 here a.m. in the morning, so it's morning here, and it's even morninger on the west coast. We got to subtract 3 hours in Vancouver, British Columbia. Right there, it's, if it's 11:08 here, do the math, train the brain, train the brain, train the brain. 11:08 minus 3, that is 8:08 in Vancouver, British Columbia. In Vancouver, British Columbia, on the west coast, in Seattle, Washington D.C. Correction, Washington State, not Washington D.C. Washington D.C. is in Virginia, and Washington State, the state of Washington, we have, it's Seattle, the big city, and of course California down on the west coast, the Bay Area, and of course San Francisco and Oakland and LA, Los Angeles. It's also 8:08 in the morning, so they're even earlier in the morning than we are still morning here in the on the east coast, of North America, Canada, Hawk Island, Montreal, one of the second biggest city, metropolis city. This island surrounded by a big river of more than 2.5 million people. Second biggest city, metropolis area in Canada, and one of the top 20 in North America, and I believe top 50 in the world or so, top 100 in the world for sure. And here from Hawk Island, Montreal, yours truly, Hana Dragon, calling all willingly loving. My philosophies, my theories to be implemented and to create, institutionalize, and establish the two complementary, covenant and cooperative institutions. The International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, to be for the 21st century. For security and service, the Dragon Army. Secure food, housing, and transport by a public-private partnership for all citizens, wing living allies, subjects thereof. Secure food, because everybody got aid in Wall Street. Housing and transport. Once those three are secured, we can work on the other services. Encourage people to hygiene in public. Please wash your hands with soap and water. When you go in a bank, in a grocery store, in a mall, wash, disinfect, hands, soap, water, hand sanitizer. We got a responsibility, a duty, and obligation at the moment is hygiene. And of course, to secure food, housing, and transport, and then work on the services, offer the services, and integrate with all social media, webcams, 24/7 live stream Dragon Army for service and security, and secure food, housing, and transport, and then offer the four dimension services with consent and hygiene, mutual understanding, and LOV. All services such as help with the cleaning, help with the cooking, XYZ, 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 help with the children. They're driving the parents crazy. The children are too hyperactive. They don't want to over medicate them to establish their growth. They need to just run a bit, half an hour, do a little push-ups, do some jogging, do some dancing, do some football, do sports, do a physical activity, run a bit, get some sweat. And all such services with consent, hygiene, mutual understanding, and love, and track the counter so that there's no abuse. Trucker, don't ask 3 massages per day there. Trucker, don't ask 3 massages a day there. Trucker, don't ask 3 massages a day. Just once, can somebody give me a half an hour because I got a 13-hour drive. I'm going 7 hours. After 7 hours, I need a half an hour stop to drive 6 hours more. And can somebody, Dragon unit, can I need a good back massage, neck rub or something? Yeah, we got you, bro. Your brother, love, love, love. X. We got get you. Ah, sure. Ah, yeah. Now for the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. Huh? Services. Baby, what? Clothes. Gonna come back. Gonna put the clothes, come back because I'm doing laundry. So while I'm gone, hug like you never hugged before with consent. For lunch, baby? Leaving the home. Okay, sounds good. 3, 3. I'll be ready. Should we 5 more minutes? See, we're doing laundry day, man. Auctioning this. Auctioning these as well. Auction, auction, auction. Auctioning this hoodie as well. Red hoodie. Auctioning these shorts. Make an offer now. Double trouble, and just auction. Just did laundry, man. Black socks. Do the black sock dance. Do the black sock dance. Do the black sock dance. Auctioning. Auction, auction, auction. 30 million. Auction, auction, auction. 93 million, 93 million, 93 million for this red. The bed cover. Red shirt. 11 million. Cents. 11 million cents. One black sock. Black sock dance. 7 million cents. My green special dragon workout towel. Green special workout dragon towel. Green special workout dragon towel. 1 million cents. Green bear cover. 77 million cents. You gotta do the math. You gotta do the math. You gotta do the math in dollars. Canadian dollars. well folded and washed. Make an offer because Monday gonna use it otherwise. If you want it fresh, or if you want to use, gonna triple the price. If Dragon sleeps on it, gonna triple the price. Aye. Jacket. Well, actually, my anonymous sister gave me this as a gift, so it's very valuable. My anonymous sister gave me this too. It's a gift, so it's very valuable to me. My anonymous sister gave me this as a. This is very valuable to your story. So 156 million. 156 million. 156 million. I'm auctioning this as I wanted, and I got it as a gift from my anonymous sister a few years ago, just before COVID, I believe. Just right a month, just on October, I think October just before COVID, or November before COVID, something like that. October, November, just before COVID. And this is the bathroom towel auction, and this also for 1 million. 1 million. 1 million.
Yeah, they always power, no power. Monica was yeah, but so many kids. He said, trying to run up. Where were your kids when there was power on?
Smacht zie je. Smacht zie je. Van smacht zie je. Didn't find a cup of coffee this morning. We're gonna wrap it up. Didn't find a cup of coffee. We're gonna do hey what it is in the news. Support the dream. 800 Dragons, Dancing Goddess and Dragon Kingdom Dream. Is an independent artist, independent athlete, independent activist. Triple A plus other dimensions to that trinity. Athlete, artist, activist, Triple A, athlete, artist, activist, in whatever order when I work out. It's artist, athlete first. When I work out, training exercise, it's athlete first. When I rap, it's artist. When I do poetry, it's artist first. Or when I advocate for the reduction of the prices of goods, toys, candies, sweets, all products related to the Halloween holiday, it's an activist, activist, activist. So, whatever, plus other dimensions to that trinity of athlete, artist, activist, triple A plus geopolitical analyst and theorist, universal spiritual teaching student, scholar of history, wars, geopolitics, and civilization, as well as not only a scholar but a geopolitical analyst and theorist and philosopher, and the world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet. That is, those are the dimensions fundamentally. And the androgynous pansexual founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, which is my dream for a public-private partnership Please support the dream, volunteer, write transcript everywhere, east, west, north, south, for the dream, for the dream, for the dream, transcript 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 for the dream, transcript. Everywhere, east, west, north, south, post, advocate, join, support, volunteer, and Lilo V, the dream, which is Adrian Hana Dragon's dancing goddess and the Dragon Kingdom dream, which is my call to all to support the implementation of my Trinity theories, the debt refusion theory first, which of course calls for taking all private and public debt, my private first. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be first, but if my private debt is represented by X1 and your X2, and there's hundreds of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions of X's across East, West, North, South, Canada, coast to coast and beyond. So taking all the private and the public debt of private citizens such as myself who are $10,000 in debt, I am $10,000 in debt, paying the highest interest I ever paid due to the highest interest ever paid thanks to, or DUE, due to the hikes of the Bank of Canada. Please don't hike anymore the rates because the majority are going to suffer. Already economically, financially, commercially struggling families, especially families with children, for the children, reduction in DRT, taking all private and public debt, refusing it, meaning converting it to US dollars. The Canadian debt, whatever the Canadian dollar is going to be in the trillions. All the public and the private debt, so all the public and the private debt. As a matter of fact, we're going to do a little check now quickly. Canadian, let's see, Canadian to US conversion today. So it hasn't changed. So one Canadian dollar is the equivalent of 73 US cents. So all the private and the public debt of Canada refusing it, this US dollar today is the equivalent to 73 cents US, 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 one US dollar. This US dollar in 2009 series is vice versa. If one Canadian dollar, if this Canadian dollar is the equivalent of 73 cents US, vice versa is, it's gonna do the reverse. So then $1 Canadian today is this Canadian dollar is the equivalent of 73 US cents. Hasn't changed since yesterday. And this US dollar printed in 2009, just as this dollar is minted in 2009, is the equivalent to one US dollar to $1.37 Canadian. So my theory, which I'm calling the implementation DRT, the debt refusion theory, taking all private and public debt, whatever the number is in US dollars, refusing it, meaning we got to go do the conversion into US dollars because the US dollar is still the international financial currency of choice, is still the global trade currency of choice, and is still the worldwide tourism currency of choice. So the primary currency still, it has been challenged since 2007 by the yuan and by other currencies, the euro, but it's still the dominant currency of worldwide, globally, internationally, the US dollar, the dollar. So converting all the debt, Canadian private and public debt, US private and public debt, the US will stay the same because it's going to be in US dollar. From Mexico, from the collective North American civilization and beyond, NATO member countries, and my protocol Genesis 33 as to that story, of course, in the Bible where the two twins embraced and kissed, where the two twins embraced and kissed, where the two twins embraced and kissed. Join Israel and beyond, my African brothers and sisters, Middle East and beyond, Central America, South America. The one Mexican peso is the equivalent today of 5 cents US. So one Mexican peso is the equivalent of 5 cents US today. One Mexican pesos, it hasn't changed since this week. It kind of stayed very the same. One Mexican peso is 5 cents, and vice versa. But the US dollar has went down because yesterday it was 20.05, and now early this morning, 11:29 a.m. in the morning, this US dollar equivalents to 19.96 Mexican pesos. So it went down a bit, meaning that the US dollar, it's depreciated, what's called in the foreign exchange market, currencies versus currencies, and the interchange and the interplay of the dynamics of the currencies versus another currency has to be compared, one currency to the other, such as the US dollar to the Mexican peso. So one US dollar today is the equivalent of 19.96 Mexican peso, meaning that this US dollar equivalents to 19.96 Mexican pesos. It went down a bit, so we can say that the US dollar, devaluated while the Mexican peso appreciated. So depreciation or devaluation versus appreciation. appreciated, devalued. That's the forex. And let's see also for the euro. Euro. €1 hasn't changed this week. It's the same. €1 is the equivalent of 98 cents US. So €1 today is the equivalent of 98 cents US. €1 today is the equivalent of 98 cents US. And the reverse. The reverse. $1 is the equivalent of €1 and €2 cents. Same thing as now. This US dollar is the equivalent of €1 and 2 cents euro. So $1 is the equivalent of 1.02 euros. Interesting. Let's see the Israeli shekel. Israeli new shekel. The Israeli new shekel. One new Israeli shekel is the equivalent of 28 US cents. One new Israeli shekel, the NIS, is the equivalent of 28 cents US. One NIS, new Israeli shekel, is the equivalent of 28 cents US. And vice versa, the reverse. $1, this US dollar, is the equivalent of 3.55. It went up a bit. Yesterday it was 3.53, right? Or 3.54, and the other day was 3.58. So it goes up and down. $1 is the equivalent of 3.55 new Israeli shekels. Israel uses the NIS, new Israeli shekel. So $1 is the equivalent of 3.55 new Israeli shekels. $1 is the equivalent of 3.55 new Israeli shekels. So taking all the private and the public debt, refusing it, whatever the number is, converted to US dollars, so it'll be in the trillions, and with that number, finance the global central bank and international financial system and international financial system, transnational currency, which I call the UE. UE stands for U dot E dot U dot. U dot stands U for universal, E exchange, and unit, because fundamentally that's what money is, to buy and sell. And the UE, with a public-private partnership, all institutions and organizations, public and private corporations to support it, think tanks, governments to do implement my theory, the debt refusion theory, the DRT, taking all private and public debt and refusing it in US dollars, convert all the debt of Canada, the Canadian dollar debt, public and private, converted into US dollars, the Mexican debt, Mexican pesos, all the public and the private debt converted into US dollars, and of course the euro debt converted, and my brothers and sisters in Britain, the pound converted to US dollars, the Israelis converted to US to create a common currency, transnational currency, unit of exchange, a global currency. The UE, the universal exchange unit, preferably by biometrics. The hand and the voice and the eye are unique biometric three identifiers. The eye, the voice, and the hand are unique biometric identifiers. So with calling my astrological brother Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg to work on Elon Musk, and all governments of right institutions to create this UE to issue, because money, what it is, buying and selling, and then to the creation of the UE, that will be the number in the trillions of dollars of all the public and the private debt in US dollars. The UE would be the equivalent of the US dollar at that point in time, right? The universal exchange unit. And the universal exchange unit, that will be the initial money supply. And then we'll have a 10 with the money supply to increase the money supply, increasing the money supply. We have a 10% maximum on principal on all loans, business loans, commercial loans, XYZ, all of the loans. That I'm calling for the 7-year project starting November 7th. The DRT, taking all private and public debt, the individual's private debt, the debt, and then we'll refuse it, have a reset, and then start with 10% maximum as a principal on all loans, 10% interest, 10% interest, 10% interest on all loans, business loans, commercial loans, student loans, whatever loans for whatever XYZ credit lines, maximum 10. It can be lower than 10, 9.9, 9.3, 8.35, 7.70, 7.70, 7.70, and XYZ 6.6, whatever the number, maximum 10. So having that debt refusion theory, calling ASAP the implementation of the DRT, the debt refusion theory. So calling all willing loving to support the DRT, taking all private and public debt, corporations and organizations, multinationals, all to support it. At this point in time is where we are with World War III knocking on the door, and XYZ factors, geopolitical regions, forming new geopolitical regions, forming for the collective North American civilization. The DRT, I believe, best at this point in time to be implemented. Taking all private and public debt, refusing it, whatever the number is in trillions of dollars, and create initially the money supply. The money supply will be the number of all the public and the private debt in US dollars, and the currency will be, as it will incorporate different nation states, and transnational will be global unit of exchange will be the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit. So create the Universal Exchange Unit, the UE, preferably by biometrics, the hand, the voice, and the eye are unique biometric identifiers with multinational corporations, Microsoft, Facebook, Instagram, Tesla, the governments of NATO member countries and beyond, Protocol 33 Genesis, Protocol Genesis 33, Protocol Genesis 30, Protocol Genesis 33, Israel, and beyond, to create the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit, the UE, and created two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions: the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, to be for security and service, secure food, housing, and transport, secure food, housing, and transport, secure food, housing, and transport, the three essential elements of civilization. How much food is now being served? Fries, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, all the pizza, all the salads across the North American civilization, from the farming to the last level of production. Well, you are served in a fast food operator or in a restaurant XYZ, whatever you're eating, potatoes, rutabagas, legumes, steaks, or whatever it is, vegan food, all food, housing and the transport, the railroads, and of course the highways, railroads, and all the food, the production and the distribution of food coast to coast and beyond. Secure with the Dragonomy, and then offer the fourth dimension to that trinity of, after securing food, housing, and transport, securing food, housing, and transport, securing food, housing, and offer the fourth dimension. Fourth dimension is services with consent, hygiene, and mutual understanding and love. Live stream 24/7, Instagram, Facebook, telecommunications, radio. Just put a television 24/7 live television for the Dragon Army, 24 live television for the Dragon Army, 24/7 live television for the Dragon Army, with workouts, training, exercising, securing food, housing, and transport. Encourage people in hygiene in public and to work out, to train, and to exercise, and to take care of the body. The body is a temple for pleasure and purpose, and offer services with consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love. Offer services and live stream 24/7 XYZ everywhere, anytime, 24/7 with the Sabbath, to dance for pleasure and purpose. The DRT, the refusion theory, implemented implemented debt refusion theory, taking all public and private debt, refusing it, refusing it, creating the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, preferably by biometrics. The VOI and the ISO unique biometric identifiers by a public-private partnership. Of course, to create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, to be integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations in the 21st century based on my philosophy, such as the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose, and how do we invest in it by working out, training, and exercising, and in parallel in a complementary covenant cooperative manner with the international integrated dance league, integrated albeit in all gender, all ages, all sexual orientations, inclusive dance league, in order to secure food, housing, and transport, and then offer the services and the international integrated dance league, the dancing goddess army, the DGA, in order to be for pleasure and purpose, pleasure to dance and to organize recreational activities, and of course the purpose for environmental nature, for the nature and environment, for harmony between civilization and nature, for attaining harmony between civilization and nature, for attaining harmony between civilization and nature. By education and by action takes two to tango. By education and by action takes two to tango. By education and by action. Of course, an implementation of my Trinity of theories was first and foremost the debt fusion theory has to be done, has to be implemented, taking all private and public debt, refusing it, the DRT, creating the two complementary covenant of cooperative institutions, calling on all willing living to support, and of course to have the two complementary covenant of cooperative institutions, Dragon Army with the Dancing Goddess Army to be live streamed television, have the dedicated television, radio channels for the Dragon Army, and live stream websites, supporters, volunteers, join, support the XYZ, the truly Dragon Adrian Hannah Dragon's Dream, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon King would have 24/7 live stream on Instagram, Facebook, activities of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom's Dream with philosophies, rapping, education, and physical activities, and dancing and working out, and encouraging people to work out, to train, exercise, coast to coast in North American civilization and beyond. A public-private partnership, a dream is a public-private partnership. So refusing all debt, taking all private and public debt, refusing it to create the global currency of exchange, calling on all the IMF, International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and all central banks and all corporations and organizations to support this implementation of my Trinity of theories, the aforementioned first and foremost the debt fusion theory, and all artists and all athletes and all patriarchal sports leagues of the NHL, National Hockey League, NFL, National Football League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, and of course Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street, and all willingly loving, all willingly loving, all willingly loving the debt fusion theory, creating all, taking all private and public debt, refusing it, whatever the number is in US dollars, doing the conversion from Canadian, all the Canadian public and private debt, converting it into US dollars, going to be in the trains, all the Mexican public and private debt, converting it into US dollars, all the European Union and the NATO member countries, converting it into US dollars, Israel and beyond, all the public and private debt of NATO member countries in Europe, and of course Turkey is a member of NATO, and Israel and beyond, Africa, my brothers and sisters in Africa, the Middle East, South America, Central America and beyond, and refusing taking all private and public debt, refusing it, whatever that number is in US dollars, creating that the UE, because money, that is essentially money to buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, by biometrics, the universal exchange unit, the hand, the voice, and the eye, unique biometric identifiers, and to have live stream 24/7 television channel for the Dragon Army, for the Dancing Goddess Army television channel. That is the dream of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. Of live stream webcams, the Dragon Armies, of live stream webcams and live stream Facebook, Instagram, 24/7 with the Sabbath, with the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon King. So thank you, love you, kiss you, farmers, construction workers, Butchers, bakers, truckers by the thousands now going east, west, north, south. Big dragon hugs, big dragon hugs, big dragon hugs. The farmers, truckers, construction workers, daycare workers, nurses, doctors, dock workers, of course, all involved in the production and distribution of food. All involved in the production and distribution of food. All involved in the production and distribution of food. Now we're gonna rock and roll. Before we finish this cup of coffee, we're gonna read what is in the news. In the news today, what is in the news? Biden is destroying the economy. Washington Examiner, don't know. Is it intentional? I don't know about that. I have my theories on that. DRT, debt refusion theory, best for a post-COVID economic system for pleasure and purpose. Chinese scientists say they're working on an anti-ship missile that can fly as high as Montreal's light rail network linked to South Shore won't open this fall as planned. Massive storm to target central U.S. with blitz condition. Want to see in the news, the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, the Dragon Army, gave 1 billion hugs across North America today. Gave 1,000 massages, helped with so much cooking, so much cooking. The Dragon Army did so much with the kids, read to children so many books. Different dragons of the Dragon Army read 10,000 books to children. Did 10,000 push-ups in that state, in that province across North America. That's what I want to see in the news. And Dragon Army did this. The Dancing Goddess Army did dance this, clean this ocean, did more recycling, did more compost. XYZ. WHO says another Omicron subvariant which may be more resistant to antibiotics spread to 26 countries. The pressing video shows what will happen to Earth if all the ice melts. Alouettes focus on sinking Argos in the hunt for first place. TFSA invest 100,000 and get 1 million. Angry protesters crash Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez town hall in her own home. I always thought they had an actual grill back there. Burger King. Retail sales plunge beyond expectations as shoppers slash spending behind from This Is Money. Oh, I want to see the Dragon Army gave each day 1,000, a million massages, or 1,000,000 minutes of massages to the truckers, 1,000 hugs to the butchers, 1,000 this or that. Did XYZ, cleaned XYZ this neighborhood, cleaned XYZ this street, cleaned this YZ this, did 10,000 push-ups with the children, did 1 million push-ups with the children. The Dancing Goddess Army cleaned this in the environment XYZ. That's what I want to see in the news. And the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom citizens kissed 1,000,000,000 times today. The Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom citizens kissed 1,000,000,000 times today. So I want to see in the news. The Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom citizens kissed 1,000,000,000 times today. Montreal weather, the weather. Bless, bless, bless. Americans are burned out because they traded faith and family for work. That's from the Washington Examiner. Seen my American brothers and sisters, the Dragon Army games when they burn out, give massages and good hugs and good feet washes. That's what I want to see. The news, the Dragon Army, live stream, live television, Facebook, Instagram, XYZ, new television on all radio, television, Dragon Army radio, Dragon Army XYZ, apps, Dancing Goddess and Dragon Kingdoms, apps, and that's what yours truly want to see. Work, XYZ, blah blah blah, love is action. And I want to see Americans are getting XYZ Canadians, North Americans together. From Elon Musk's super bad feeling to Jamie Dimmon's warnings of an economic hurricane. CEOs are shouting that 2023 is going to suck. CEOs already got their means. CEOs are Chief Executive Officer. CEOs, right, stands for Chief Executive Officer. CEO stands for Chief Executive Officer. They're saying that is going to suck. Not for them. They already got their 7 houses, 7 cars. I'm living the worst economic, financial, commercial crisis of my life, but I got billions of push-ups, billions of squats, billions of hugs, and trillions of kisses, lots of hugs and tickles with that, some brain and some muscle. I want to see in the news 2023 that the Dragon Army every day gives 1 billion hugs, 1 billion massage minutes to the farmers, truckers, butchers, XYZ Kids with the children reads books to the children's. The dancing goddess army in parallel to the dragon army dances and gives hugs and kisses and cleans the environment on the oceans and the roads and encourages people to recycle better, to compost better, to do XYZ. That's what I want to see in the news. Hugs, kisses, cooking, cleaning, supporting, loving the farmers, the truckers, the butchers, the nurses, reading children's books, creating reading children's books and writing children's books and encouraging exercising, working out, training and exercising and dancing and twerking and XYZ, the dancing goddess army with the dragon army. That's what I want to see. Let's see in top stories in the news. That's what I want to see. Top story for 2023 every day. Dragon armies, soldiers of the dragon army, dragon armies, dragons of the dragon army gave today from Monday to Friday until the Sabbath at midnight gave a million massages, gave a billion hugs, washed XYZ housing, transport, and read tens of thousands of books to children, and worked out, trained, exercise with children, and did 10 million push-ups and did 10 million squats together with the citizens, and did assisted the farm and gave the farmers massages in the millions of minutes of massage. Is in live stream webcams, all Dragon Army TV for security and service across North America, East, West, North, South, webcams, public-private partnership. That's what I want to see in the news. Indonesia offers 30-year tax breaks to companies investing in new capital city. Indonesia offers 30-year tax breaks to companies investing in new capital city. Indonesia. 30-year tax breaks to companies investing in new capital city. Interesting. I wonder what the new capital city is for that. This major weekend warm-up in Ontario is a one-hit wonder. It's the Weather Network. Want to see in the Weather Network good news. Dancing Goddess and Dragon Kingdom Dream. The Complementary Covenant and Cooperative Institution. I want to see in the news the Death Refusion theory. Adrian Hanna, Dragon Androgynous Pacific, founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. The Trinity of Theories. Adrian Hanna, Dragon's theory is implemented. The Dragon Army, the Dancing Goddess Army. That's what I want to see in the news. Billions of snow crabs near Alaska have disappeared. Billions. 1 billion is 1,000 million. That's interesting. How come billions? Saskatoon, Meghan Markle deal or no deal comments criticized by another co-star. If you offer criticism, constructive criticism, alternatives, blah blah blah, blah, love his action. And Israeli legislative elections. Israeli legislative election. Legislative election will be held in Israel on November 1st, 2022. So in 13 days, in 13 days, in 13 days. Well, if I were running the Israeli elections, I would say only three things for my Israeli brothers and sisters. I said hugs, kisses, tickles, and a fourth dimension to that. Marching and only gonna sing Achava, Achava, Achava. Something like that. That's it. Full text story. The RC Media Sport allegations. 13 things from you. Just Chorus Entertainment takes 350 million goodwill impairment charge. Chorus, not Horus, but C with a C. Chorus. Chorus. C-O. Not a chorus like in a song, like a C-H-O-U-S, but C-O-R-U-S, not a C-H-O-R-U-S, like in a chorus of a music song. U.S. Iranian troops in Crimea are backing Russian drone strikes. That's interesting. The U.S. says in the Canadian press last from 21 hours ago that the Iranian troops in Crimea, the island of Crimea, are backing Russian drone strikes. Interesting. Confirmed, I guess it's going to be double checked. One dead in fatal vehicle involving beings of no. What's in the news? Let's go on the money. Money news. Well, money I ain't gotta got kisses. Money I ain't gotta got kisses. By the trillions, though. Money ain't gotta got kisses. Stock market. Let's see the stock market. Please, if you do make a million on the stock market today, buy, sell, trade stocks, futures, options, puts, commodities, currencies, forex on the markets, Canada markets, S&P up 107 points, Dow up 382 points, plus 1%, plus 0.5%, S&P 500 plus 38 points. That's the average, of course, the average how it is, but different stocks perform at different levels, but that gives you an indication. The index gives you an indication because it's an amalgamation of different stocks, how they're performing. Buy, sell, trade stocks now, buy, sell, trade stocks now, buy, sell, trade stocks now. So the S&P is doing plus 107 points. Dow is plus 413 points, 413, 16 points, up and down, roller coaster, blah blah blah. Producing 34.0, 90.093% up. S&P 500, Nasdaq, mathematics, algorithms, buy, sell, trade stocks. Please take this mathematic algorithm. If you make a million buying, selling stocks, commodities, futures, options, puts, Wall Street. Please give 10% of that million for food security first and foremost, because everybody got to eat. Even Wall Street give 10% for food security, which is equivalent of a million is 100,000. 10% of a million is 100,000, and divided by 4, make it 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for women's sports leagues, 25,000 for LGBTQ youth services, and 25,000 for environmental issues, to plant a tree for every tree that we cut down. Can we do that? XYZ, blah 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 blah. On the Schumpeter. And another in the news, common household items worth a lot of money. Bro, oil prices are high, but there's the boom. But where's the boom? No longer a one-trick pony. Perception of Oil Town Calgary is changing. Freeland, Freeland, surname. Freeland warns of difficult days ahead as Canada's economy shows sign of weakness. So, love you, Chrystia Freeland. Got love for you, Chrystia Freeland. Got love for you, Chrystia Freeland. But support the DRT. Support the DRT. Finance Minister of Canada, Central Bank of the U.S., Central Banker of the U.S., Finance Minister, of course, Federal Reserve, U.S. Support the debt refusion theory. Remember Bernanke. Support the Janet Yellen. Support the DRT debt refusion theory. And across from beyond North America, Freeland. Christian, I've got love for you, but support the debt refusion theory, I believe best. So, CBC reports that Freeland has, which is Freeland is the finance minister. Gonna click on that article. Let's see. Warns of difficult days ahead. I've lived difficult days in the past for many years, been depressed and suicidal. I'm no longer depressed and suicidal. I've conquered depression. Have been and will call for the mass financing of people who work out, train, exercise, which is my medicine and therapy of choice. Working out, training, and exercising is my medicine and therapy of choice. Working out, training, and exercising is my medicine and therapy of choice. Finance Minister Christophe Freeland issued a warning to Canadians Wednesday. Today's Friday. The coming months won't be pretty as rising interest rates slow a once red-hot economy and force some people out of their jobs. The Dragon Army is the solution. The Dancing Artist Army is the solution. The DRT is the solution at this point in time. How's the solution? I firmly believe it without a doubt. Although I'm mediocre average in some things, I'm mediocre average in so-so, I firmly believe in my theories. The debt refusion theory got to come first to create a two complementary covenant and cooperative institution for the 21st century, integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations. The International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force to be for security and service, the Dragon Army, and with the International Integrated Dance League, the Dancing Goddess Army, to be for service and security. The Bank of Canada recent rate hikes to tame sky-high inflation will increase borrowing costs for businesses and consumers alike, which will send shockwaves throughout the economy, Freeland said, speaking at an auto industry conference in Windsor, Ontario. There are still some difficult days ahead for Canada's economy. To say otherwise would be misleading. DRT, my dear, secure food, housing, and transport offer services, alternatives, right? We gotta complement our alternatives, changing habits, sometimes changing. So I'm calling for all to support the move towards a post-COVID economic, social, financial, political, economic, and even technological, spiritual, philosophical welfare, pleasure, and purpose. Fundamentally, I'm calling for us to move first in the collective North American civilization towards a post-COVID economic, social, financial, philosophical, commercial, artistic, philosophical, spiritual, commercial welfare, pleasure, and purpose. to move. Fundamentally, my call, the dream of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, is for us to move towards a post-COVID economic, social, financial, spiritual, commercial, philosophical, political system for pleasure and purpose. Pleasure for us, and to learn, to educate all things of civilization, integrate by the CIT citizen integration theory and the dancing goddess and the dragon armies, and of course by the for purpose, to attain harmony between civilization and nature, to attain harmony between civilization and nature, to attain harmony between civilization and nature. Common household items worth a lot of money. In the news, I'm gonna see what's in the news, and we're gonna wrap it up. It's noon, so we're gonna wrap it up. Canadian press: UN demands end to violence in Haiti, sanctions gang leader. My brothers and sisters, peace. Please channel the aggressions. Do push-ups, hawk squats. Liz Truss resigning as British Prime Minister following weeks of controversy. After 44 days, the shortest ever Prime Minister in British history. 44 days, the shortest ever Prime Minister in British history. Shortest ever Prime Minister in British history. Such anti-democratic conduct must stop. Just as in Gambman given. And Stephen Bannon given 4 months in for contempt of Congress. There was no plan, Officer Slam. Ottawa Police handling of Freedom Convoy. There was no plan, Officer Slam. Ottawa Police handling of Freedom Convoy. There was no plan, Officer Slam. Ottawa Police Convoy of Freedom. Elite U.S. troops practice for war just miles from Ukraine's border. Let's go on that. Elite U.S. troops practice for war just miles from Ukraine's border. Elite U.S. troops try to do my workout, the General War Integrated Total Body Training System. Show me proof that you've done it within the rules, and then we see if I'm going to put that E for elite. Elite U.S. troops practice for war just miles from Ukraine's border. The U.S. Army's 101 Airborne, 1st 100 U.S. Army 101st Airborne Division. The U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division has been deployed to Europe for the first time in almost 80 years. A message to the U.S. Army 101st Airborne Division is: make love tonight, brothers and sisters. My message to the U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division is: make love tonight, brothers and sisters. My message to the U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division is: make love tonight, brothers and sisters. Because that's what my message to my allies and armies. Because if somebody's not making love tonight, what are we fighting for? The U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division has been deployed to Europe for the first time in almost 80 years amid soaring tension between Russia and the American-led NATO military alliance. Light infantry unit, nicknamed the Screaming Eagles, is trained to deploy on any battlefield in the world within hours, ready to fight. You have the division deputy commander, Brigadier General John Lubas. Brigadier General John Lubas told the armies that you love them. I don't want to be fighting next to no general in the army who don't got love for me. And Colonel Edwin Matias, commander of the 2nd Brigade Combat Team on a Black Hawk helicopter. Black Hawk is my favorite bird. Black Hawk HAWK helicopter for the long hour ride to the very edge of NATO's territory. Only around 3 miles from Romania's border with Ukraine. He joined the division's deputy commander, Brigadier General John Lubas, Lubas, surname, and Colonel Edwin Matias, commander of the 2nd Brigade Combat Team on a Black Hawk helicopter from the hour-long ride to the very edge of NATO's territory, only around 3 miles from Romania's Romania is the name of a country. Romania's border in Europe, Eastern Europe. Romania, Romania's border with Ukraine. Only around 3 miles from Romania's border with Ukraine. U.S. troops practice for war just miles from Ukraine's border. So from Romania. What's that song there? It's a nice Yiddish song, one of my favorite. Yeah, Romania, Romania, Romania. It's all about food. It's all about food, the song. Mostly about food, right? It's a nice, I like the song. It's one of my favorites. It's a Yiddish song. Romania, 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 something like that. So Romania's border with Ukraine. From the moment Russian Vladimir Putin launched his full-scale invasion of Ukraine on February 24th, his forces have advanced northward from the Crimean Peninsula. That threat so close to NATO territory in Romania is why one of America's most elite air assault divisions have been sent in. Because Romania is part of NATO, right? Romania is part of NATO. So the Article 5 is if an attack on a NATO member country, it's an attack on all the military alliance, NATO, right? Romania is in NATO. There's 28 NATO, 30 member countries like NATO alliance. Please join Stoltenberg. Please say that you love the General Secretary of NATO member troops. Please say that make love tonight, NATO member military alliance, because otherwise what are we fighting to save for? NATO, of course, is a North Atlantic alliance, also called NAA. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO is a intergovernmental military alliance between 30 member states, 28 European and 2 North American, Canada, US, and of course 28 European countries, of which, of course, Romania is a member country of NATO. So Article 5 is invoked as because Ukraine was not part of NATO. Ukraine was not part of NATO. Ukraine was not part of NATO. On the eastern borders, of course, Poland, and of course Hungary. There's of course Greece, Bulgaria, Austria, Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia, which are part of NATO. From the eastern, what used to be the Warsaw Pact until 1989, right? Until 1989. So 1989 was the Warsaw Pact of Warsaw, which were. So here's the article. That is it. So I'm gonna wrap up with that. Elite U.S. troops practice for war. Skirting northward along Romania's Black Sea coast, the Black Hawk eventually touched down at a forward operating site where U.S. and Romanian troops were pounding targets during a joint ground and air assault exercise. Whereas U.S. and Romanian troops were pounding targets during a joint ground and air assault. U.S. and Romanian troops were pounding ground targets during a joint ground air assault. Dragon Zero's message to my willing, loving allies and armies is make LOV tonight and hug like you never hugged before. Dragon Zero aka Limb Dick out. I'm gonna put it on.